I am from Skilled Inspirational Academy, and this webinar will be on advanced WAF. So first, we'll understand what we'll be covering in this, and then I'll be telling you how WAF works, what is the market value, and we will do some practical stuffs to show you, if time permits, on how it's different from LTM. So as you know, guys, F5 is a company which many people know, and it has one of the most critical module which is available as advanced WAF. And how it is different from Palo Alto, Checkpoint, or FortiGate, that is very critical to understand. And this is used to protect your application. So this product, it comes under your network security plus cyber security board. So people who are under networks or who are under security, this will really helpful to understand the concept, because right now all the attacks, all the cybersecurity attacks are happening on HTTP layer. So F5 has introduced this device to protect your organization from cybersecurity attacks. And trust me, guys, if you are from network or a security background, this module is mandatory nowadays. Many people don't have much information how WAF works, but this is the module which helps you to understand F5 product also, plus security also. Plus you can understand application layer, how your security will be implemented live. So in this course or webinar, or in this further, when the batch will start, what things will be covered? I'll be covering all the things practically where I'll be performing attacks. So when I talk about advanced WAF, so let me tell you the difference first, then I will show you what all things I will be covering in this course. So I will draw a live topology. So let's say I have a customer called Ram. I have another customer. My customer says that I have an application which is called sianets.com. And that application he wants 24/7 available also. Plus he also wants that my application should be protected from attacks, cyber security, ransomware, or zero-day attacks. So that is where it is called OWASP top 10, which is the huge terminology where it's a group of cybersecurity engineers who propose top 10 attacks. So top 10 attacks generally comes like SQL injection, cross-site scripting. But what is the advantage WAF is giving with LTM? We need to understand that purpose first. What is the exact advantage? You have a load balancer. With that load balancer, you want to apply security also. I want my application to be accessible 24/7, plus I want security also. So that is only been given by load balancer. Your firewall cannot be act as a load balancer. So first difference between firewall and advanced WAF is, because you need to understand these two terminology first. If you understand this, then you will get an interest on any technology. People say that, this is also web application firewall, correct? But Palo Alto, FortiGate, or Checkpoint, they also generally are said to be WAF. But according to me, guys, Palo Alto, Checkpoint, and FortiGate are generally installed at the perimeter layer. And this web application firewall or a WAF is installed before your web server, guys. So don't worry, I will show you the topology where generally your WAF is installed and where there is your Palo Alto checkpoint and FortiGate. So my role of firewall is to protect from network. I am protecting my internal network from internet. So that is covered in Palo Alto checkpoint or FortiGate. Plus, Palo Alto checkpoint FortiGate does not provide you load balancer feature. My customer says that, hey, Vidit, or hey, Skilled Inspirational Academy, I want such a device to be installed in my organization, which can provide 24 into 7 availability of my application. Second, they also want security. Right now, there are many cybersecurity attacks, phishing attack happening in organization, social engineering attack. I want to make my users smart. So I want my application, which is running on HTTP or HTTPS, to be protected against cybersecurity attacks. So that is where only device which provides this feature is called advanced WAF. This is also called in F5 as application security manager. Guys, every point which I will discuss is very critical. So whatever you are watching or listening, guys, please listen carefully. If you miss something, then you will not understand. First question every company asks nowadays is, what is the difference between a layer 7 firewall versus a F5 layer 7 device? So that is the first difference. This will come in every scenario, whether you are giving any interview or whether you are into any organization. So you need to review. So when you get a organization topology, guys, what do you see? Anyone? When I say that I want to install tight security. Now my question is, guys, to everyone, why we install Palo Alto in our organization? Why we install Zscaler in our organization? Why we install F5 ASM? And why we have a separate DDoS device? Anyone? When I talk about a topology in your live production environment, when your F5 can work as a layer 4 firewall, when an F5 can work as a layer 7 firewall, F5 can provide you DDoS, then why you need a Palo Alto device or a DDoS separate device? You must be seeing in your company you have Akamai DDoS, you have Arbor DDoS. Why it is required when F5 provides you all the facilities? See guys, everyone can tell you the concept, but you need to understand organization topology. Why I need WAF? Why I need Palo Alto? Why I need a DDoS device? This is important to understand. See, your DDoS device or your Palo Alto device or a Zscaler device does not provide you load balancer feature. My customer requirement, again, I am saying, he wants my application 24 into 7 available. That is the first requirement of my customer. See, today I'll be covering all the topologies which is important to implement F5. Second, he wants security also. Now, if I draw a live topology, can someone tell me any one difference between F5 WAF versus Palo Alto or a layer 7? If anyone can help me, I will be covering that. But if anyone can tell me one difference between Palo Alto versus advanced WAF, why I need WAF when I have a next generation firewall? I am saying that I have a next generation firewall in my picture. Why I need a WAF? So let's talk about this. So when we draw a topology here, first thing is, let's say I have customers coming from internet. This is my internet zone, guys. Now my application, I have 3 servers. My application servers are installed in DMZ. This is my app servers or database server. Okay, now I have one ISP router, which is doing my routing protocols. Now I have a firewall. Let's say my firewall is Palo Alto. Then I have servers. Okay, please listen my question. My question is why I need a F5 WAF when I already have a Palo Alto next generation firewall, which can provide you app ID, content ID, and user ID. What is the added value of this? So guys, my first question is, does firewall provides you load balancer? When traffic comes from multiple clients, there are, let's say, 100 of clients on the internet. They want to access website hosted here. Is Palo Alto capable to load balance? Can it send a request coming from here to this server, next request here, third request here? Anyone? When I talk about a Palo Alto firewall or a FortiGate or a checkpoint, does it provide load balancer? No, guys. That is the first requirement where I need a load balancer with WAF. Second question to you guys. Does firewall looks over the response traffic? We know that firewall checks the request traffic. It provides, there will be a policy which you will be opening from untrust to trust network. You need to protect your internal network from external. So you open a policy, you implement SSL VPN, you implement IPsec VPN. But my question is, does it provide you any features if, let's say, this server gets compromised? Or I am saying this server gets hacked and some data gets changed. Let's say our application Sianets.com, they got an access to database. So they change everything. They change the price of a product. Let's say I want to buy a watch from flipkart.com, but I can see that this website get hacked. The web watch, which is 10,000 rupees, now I am getting in 1 rupees. Can Palo Alto detect it? So guys, a firewall can only look over the request traffic. It can only look over the request traffic packet. But if anything gets changed at a server end, firewall cannot detect. That is very, very important, guys. Firewall generally works on your request traffic. It does not examine your response traffic. Another difference is your next generation firewall or a WAF all have attack signatures. They can use IPS and IDS. Another question is, does your firewall have a knowledge of your web protocol? Does any firewall, it can be Palo Alto, Cisco ASA. I have a web server, okay? That web server is using Apache. Database is MySQL, okay? And I have my application web server using operating system Linux. My question is, does your firewall has a knowledge of web protocol and language? Does it determine what is the operating system running on my web servers? I have a firewall, then I have a client. Thus firewall can detect, or can firewall become a decoding device to understand what is the operating system running on this server? What is the language it's running? No, guys. That is why WAF comes into picture, which is called F5. It can do, it has a knowledge of web protocol. So what I say is firewall can apply normal attack signatures. But if I want to apply specific attack signatures related to Apache in my device, I want to apply attack signatures related to my database, which is MySQL. In that case, guys, your Palo Alto firewall cannot detect or a false checkpoint cannot detect. Another question to you guys is, let's say I have an application called flipkart.com. In this application, I have a mobile, which is an iPhone. And some of my customer comes to buy this. Original price of this iPhone is 70,000 rupees. But somehow, some of the hacker or a bad device got an access to this website. And they changed the price of this iPhone to 1 rupees. Thus firewall detected. Does firewall has a capability to protect your parameter tampering attack? This is called parameter tampering attack. Does firewall able to detect whether there is any change on the parameter level? So parameter is nothing, guys, when you fill your name, when you fill your password, when you buy something, name equal to Vidit. That is called one parameter. Password equal to root. That is called one of the parameter. So firewall does not have a capability. See, they can provide signature database. They can act as an IPS, IDS. But WAF, when I talk about advanced WAF, it provides knowledge of web protocol and language. You can apply specific attack signatures related to your language. And it has granular control. It can provide you URL protection. URL protection can be provided in firewalls, but it cannot provide you parameter tampering attack. Your firewall will never come to know that there is any change on parameter level, but F5 provides you that feature. Now, guys, my another question is for firewall. If I talk about firewall, does it provide you cookie tampering protection? First of all, what is cookie tampering or what is session hijacking? Guys, today world, you should have knowledge of cybersecurity. Anyone, including me, you have learned CISSP. You must be good in cybersecurity, either CompTIA Security Plus, that is the basic course, or CCNA Security. Because nowadays, all the attacks are happening on your web application, whether it's HTTP or HTTPS. So that is why this product is huge in demand, whether it's a Gulf country or India. There are very less engineers who have good knowledge on advanced WAF. Now, can someone tell me what is cookie? What is session hijacking? So when I log in into this device, okay, let me open my virtual server. This is my virtual server. I will open this. This you treat as a website. Okay. So I am just changing it to 80 port. So I will show you how the application protects cookie. And if I say application, guys, you need to understand what is application. Application is nothing. You are getting a web page of sianets.com. From where it is coming? When client access sianets.com, it is coming from where, guys? It is coming from the servers behind your F5. There must be some load balancer. When you access google.com or aws.com, you will get a web page. From where you are getting web page? From these servers. These are called your web server, application server. When I say application, it refers to this server. And my main role is I want to protect this server from attacks. I have an hacker here. I have an hacker here. They want to access this server. I want them to protect. That firewall cannot protect. That can only be protected from F5. So when I access the application, let me refresh. So this is my application. I am getting this web page from one of my servers. So what is the topology which we follow generally is I have a client Then I have installed my F5. Then I have 3 servers. This is the topology. So client will access my website. Let's say this is my website. I have 3 servers. One is called red server, one is green, one is blue. And top of it, I will apply a security policy. So when I say LTM, that is called local traffic manager. That can only act as a load balancer. But when I say I want to apply security, that is called ASM. So what you will do is you will create a virtual server. In virtual server, you will be assigning one layer 7 ASM policy to protect your application from cyber security attacks. So I have this application. Now, what is the cookie here? So I will go here. I will go here on this more tools and I will open. So let me open in Chrome. That is where I will show you. So there is a concept called fiddler. So everyone in IT industry should know how HTTP works. What is the header in HTTP? Anyone knows how HTTP works? What is the header in HTTP? What is the URL? What is the URI component of application? What is parameter? What is query string, guys? Trust me, guys, if you understand the whole URL of HTTP, you know that where the attacks can happen. So what I am showing you is when I access this sianets.com. Okay. Or let me open another website called flipkart.com. Let's open amazon.com. And I will open a developer tool. So this is called a developer tool where you can determine the performance of your application. Also, you can review headers. This where you can review different HTTP. So if I open any of the website, so let's say I will open this. I will open sianets.com to make it little easy as of now. So my website is open. I will go to this website. Now, can you see this? HTTP works on request layer plus response layer, guys. Very, very important. Can anyone tell me what is request and what is response? When client initially connects to sianets.com, that is called a request protocol. That is where the request header comes into picture. When server replies to your F5, let's say I have a client which is connecting to F5, and when server is giving a web page, that is called a response traffic. Request traffic is between client to F5 and response traffic is when server is responding. So can you see this here? This is my website. This is my method. Guys, now one of the customer comes to me, hey, Vidit, I want to only allow get and post method in my application. If someone uses delete method or trace method, I want to block. So what is the difference between get method and delete method? So that you will understand the difference and the power of web application versus Palo Alto firewall. My customer has a requirement, skilled inspirational academy. I have an application called sianets.com. In this application, I want someone should not use this method. Can Palo Alto protect this? Anyone? Can Palo Alto has a capability to protect your application from method? I want to block particular method from my application. So delete method generally uses it will delete all your database, guys. from your application. So it is vulnerable method, guys. We never suggest you to use delete method, guys. That is a vulnerable. Can Palo Alto protect, or a FortiGate can protect that? According to me, no, guys. So that is the power which F5 gives you. It can protect particular. So get method, guys. So HTTP, when I talk about HTTP consists of method. HTTP consists of your response code. So response codes are 1XX, 2XX, 3XX, 4XX, and 5XX. So that are the normal response codes used in your HTTP protocol, guys. Very, very important, guys. So I'll be covering all the things related to HTTP also in this course, where we'll be talking about how HTTP works in detail. But I wanted to show you the difference between a web application firewall versus your Palo Alto. So that is where it is very, very useful. Now, if I come across deployment method of WAF, how we deploy a WAF behind a load balancer, that we will talk about. So how the application flow with WAF happens. Very, very important architecture which I am discussing now. I am discussing now the application flow with F5 WAF. Please understand carefully, guys. I have MPLS users. I have internet users. I have SSL VPN users who are accessing my application. They all are connecting via external firewall. And then I have an internal firewall. Then I have server 1, server 2, server 3. This is how your topology looks like when you don't have a WAF. Then here I will be using a F5 WAF device. Generally, WAF is installed where, guys? Do I need WAF to be installed in external network or internal network? Anyone? Should WAF be installed in external protection, or should WAF will be used for internal protection? Guys, mostly your WAF are installed in DMZ when you want to protect your external application from internet users. That is where WAF is installed, when you protect your external application from attack. So how the traffic comes here, guys? So this is the topology where this is deployed in production environment. So how the topology looks like, your internet users will first access your application URL. That is sianets.com. That is the URL which you want to protect from attacks. Then there will be a link load balancer or ISP. After that, it will go to DDoS. Guys, when I say firewall can also be used as a layer 4 and layer 7 DDoS, why I need a separate DDoS? Because firewall does not protect from volumetric attack. If there is a volumetric attack which is happening, volumetric attack means lot of users are trying to access your website at same time so that it can choke your network. That is where DDoS comes into picture. Can firewall protect from volumetric attack? Anyone? If I talk about Palo Alto or any other firewall, can it protect from volumetric attack? No, guys. So it can protect, but your firewall can be chopped. It can make your network hold down. So that is why I always follow hybrid approach, guys. You should always understand when you deploy any device in your network topology, what is the use case of that? In which case I should use external firewall, in which case I should use internal firewall, in which case I should use DDoS device. So that is why now companies are asking for a multiplayer, not a single player. If you're working on F5, you should have knowledge on LTM plus GTM plus ASM to get a good job plus good package. Plus you should have firewall knowledge. So traffic will go to DDoS, then it will come to external firewall. So I will just show you. After that, guys, where it will go? It will go to your WAF. Then it will go to internal firewall, and then it will go to your application server. This is how your traffic flows when we deploy DDoS device, a firewall, and a WAF. Very, very important, guys. So what are the deployment prerequisites? When you deploy any device in your architecture, what are your prerequisites? Anyone? This is the topology which we discussed in network. Now my second question is, what are your deployment prerequisites? When you deploy any new device, what is the prerequisite, guys? Anyone? I will ask my customer, how many URLs you need to protect behind WAF? I need an application details. So guys, it does not mean that, let's say my customer has 10 application and they are ATN 443 application which are on HTTP. Out of this, customer says that I have only 5 application which are external world, and I want this application to be protected behind WAF. So in that case, I need a list of my application or a URL. Second question, guys, whether my application is HTTP or it is using HTTPS. Nowadays, guys, all your applications are HTTPS. So in this case, what you will require? You require a certificate and a key. Now, third question which you will require from a customer is, do they want any load balancer feature also? Whether they want only F5 WAF or they want LTM also. So that is how you need to deploy and ask your customer about the different things. So how the traffic flows logically in lab. So first thing, I'll be creating a virtual server. When we create a new WAF deployment in F5, I'll be first creating my virtual server. Virtual server is nothing. It's an IP address of your website plus port number. So your client request will always hit your virtual server. Then it will go to load balance. Second thing, I'll be creating a layer 7 security policy. But does my F5 supports WAF? You need to check this. I have an F5 load balancer. Does it support Web Application Firewall? So how to check that? You need to go to load balancer. You need to go to system license. So here there will be different license. See, here I want to check whether my F5 is supporting advanced WAF license or not. Very, very important, guys. Your F5 can have LTM. F5 is a company which has different module. F5 has GTM, that is your DNS solution. F5 also has a WAF product that is called ASM, that is for protecting your HTTP layer from OWASP top 10 cybersecurity attacks. Then you have APM, that is used in SSL VPN or single sign-on. So first, you need to understand whether your F5 supports WAF. Does it have a license? So I have checked it. So my requirement is fulfilled. Now I will go to resource provisioning. Can someone tell me in this whether this F5 is using LTM, GTM, and ASM both, or it only supports LTM? Anyone? From this resource provisioning, just reply on the chat whether this feature which we are discussing, are they using LTM, GTM, or ASM? Very important, guys. This will be helpful in your production environment. My customer wants that my F5 they should use as an LTM, plus they should use as a ASM, which is a web application firewall. Now, my question is, does this F5 supports LTM or WAF both, guys? So this F5 only supports LTM. You have a license. You need to take care of two things. Even you have a license, you should also configure resource provisioning also. Very, very important, guys. Even you have a license, you should also configure resource provisioning. Very important, guys. So how to configure WAF here, guys? This is the live practical in production. You need to configure. First, you will go here and you will select ASM and just submit. Even I have a WAF lines, I need to provision also. So I will click OK. I need to also check my RAM and hard disk also. I have 4 GB RAM. I'm not sure whether it will work or not, but I want to share with you. So every resource, let's say I want to use F5 as a DNS solution. You can use it also. So that is where, guys, I'll be covering real scenarios, how it works. And guys, after this course, you will all clear your 101, 201, and 303. So this will cover your LTM module and this covers your WAF module. And this will be a weekend batch with lifetime interview support. I can guarantee you if you clear it, after this, you can clear any interview. So this course, mostly people ask, after this course, what I can become? You can become security architect, you can become network architect, and you can deploy your infra, you can fine tune, and you can do day-to-day maintenance activity. So guys, I cover the course in such a way that you can deploy or design your infra, you can implement the stuff, and you can do operation stuffs. So that is the three terminologies which comes when you work in production environment. You need to understand how you deploy a new device. After that, you need to know how to implement security policies. After that, you want an operation support. Let's say customer reports some issues that, hey, my URL is getting blocked by some reason. So you should know why a URL is getting blocked. So we will be covering all the things from installation, deployment, fine tuning, and day-to-day maintenance. And this will be covering 303, that is an exam code. And don't worry, guys, I'll be covering basics of LTM also in this stuff. If you're new into load balancer, I will be covering here. I'll be covering architecture point of LTM. Then I will be covering whole HTTP protocol. I will deploy my architecture security policies, fine tuning, attack signatures, then how to deploy F5 with syslog, everything guys. I don't want to go here. You can go to my website and check for the course content. So just go here on sianets.com. I don't want to show you right now. Just open this. You will get to know what all things are covered. Go downwards. You can download the course from here. So let me see, it's giving me. Can you see this? This I wanted to show you. 4400 MB are requested to provision this module. So what I will do, I will LTM, I don't need. My customer says that I don't want load balancing feature. Either you can increase your RAM or I am just deselecting LTM. Let's see whether it will do. So this will cover, you can watch all this. Everything is written, the course content. There will be total 8 modules and it will be more than 1 month course. Sorry, not 8 modules, total 19 modules are there, guys. You can download it. Maybe we can discuss later on. So these are the different modules, guys, which I'll be covering from starting how to deploy a normal load balancer. Here, nothing will be discussed about WAF. And second module, we'll be discussing about architecture. What are the traffic processing objects? What is virtual server? What is pool? What is pool member? What is layer 7 application policy? How the HTTP request flows. I was telling you we will be using a tool which is called Fiddler. I'll be performing all the attacks using Fiddler tool, guys. So don't worry, there are many things which we'll be covering and all will be practical stuff so that you can understand the knowledge and you can grab the knowledge. That is the main purpose. I'll be covering DDoS part also here. How the DDoS traffic flows. Because that is also very, very important, guys. I'll be covering OWASP top 10. Your legal traffic should not get flow. I'll be talking about that flow also. Okay, so I will not go much onto this. Let's come further on. So this is the topic which you need to understand in detail. So if you see this, this is how your operating system looks like in F5, which is called traffic management operating system. Can you see this? F5 supports LTM, ASM, DNS. There are separate module. In this, I'll be covering ASM full plus LTM basics. Because for ASM, for a security engineer, you just need a basics of load balancer. It's not like that if you don't have knowledge of LTM, you cannot learn. No, that is not a case. You can learn ASM without LTM. You just need a basic knowledge. Nowadays, guys, how 93% attacks are happening on the web application. So you should be good in this device. So this is how your topology looks like. Previously, how the packet based and now full proxy. So F5, whether it's an LTM or a WAF, it is called full proxy architecture, guys. What is happen is you have two sessions. One is between client to your virtual server and one handshake will be from F5 to the server, guys. That is how the traffic flows. That is very, very important stuff which you need to understand. And how F5 looks like? F5 looks like this, guys. Initially, when you deploy an F5, you will have a management port where you will be deploying it. Plus, this is the default IP of your load balancer, guys. So if someone asks you whether I want an F5 to be deployed, so you need to first check the license part and management IP configuration. And right now, we are talking about WAF and advanced WAF. So F5 advanced WAF nowadays provides you API protection also. Nowadays, people are using Python application or Ansible. So it provides you API protection also. Bot detection, guys. Let's say you are not a human. F5 will detect everything on bot detection. Behavior analysis also. Nowadays, AI and machine learning are happening. So it helps you to protect from behavior analysis. Credential stuffing. Nowadays, a lot of attacks are happening where people are doing brute force attack to determine your sensitive data. That is also protected by WAF. So that is why it is called advanced WAF. So we'll be using this topology in our network. I'll be having one client, I'll be having one F5, and I'll be having one vulnerable machine. I will perform every attack here, and we will come to know how F5 will protect this. So this is how the topology will be. I will have one client, I will have F5, and I will have one vulnerable machine where I will be performing different attacks, and I will show you how to protect from that attacks, guys. That is the topology which I'll be using. And this one I will discuss later on about network and all. Now I want to show you one diagram. So when we talk about ASM, first we will configure virtual server, that is mandatory. And F5 ASM only works with HTTP profile, guys. Guys, can anyone tell me why we use HTTP profile? So now what I will do, guys, instead of I will stop my unmute myself and let's have some Q&A now, guys.